What's going on, guys? Today I'm going to be interviewing a client of ours, Andrew. Andrew is actually someone who tried affiliate marketing first, actually failed with his first product, was working at Home Depot. After he started working with us, launched his second product with us, and his second month ended up hitting $14,000 in that month. I'll let you watch the rest of his journey here. So let's dive in. Tell me about your life, Andrew, before starting Amazon FBA. What were you doing? What were you up to?
Definitely. So I actually just graduated high school at the time, and I was going to a community school during the COVID years. And the value of the education there, I just didn't think it would work well in the real world. It was kind of like nonsense classes, stuff like that. So I wanted to try something else that I thought had value in a modern changing world.
Gotcha. So right
Mhm.
out of high school, you hopped into this.
Pretty much. Well, I did take like 2 years. I tried affiliate marketing initially via
Okay.
another course, but yeah, then found I've actually been a long time viewer of your YouTube channel as I first came across you. So yeah, around that
Nice.
time.
Very cool. What happened with affiliate marketing? It just didn't work out or just not your game?
It was my first like attempt at a online anything revenue to make online. So, there's some learning curves there and it's the wild, wild west for that. And I will say that leadership in that course was nowhere in par with what I got from your course. So
Nice.
yeah. Really,
Gotcha,
hats
man.
off to you. It's I've done several courses, and none of them have been the tier that yours has. So it's very helpful.
That's awesome, man. I appreciate that. Yeah. A lot of work that goes into it, of course, but I'm glad it's helping you out. What made you get into Amazon FBA? Like, were you just looking around at YouTube videos? I guess why'd you pick Amazon FBA?
Yeah. So YouTube was a huge, you always see videos and stuff like that. YouTube was a huge help, and just kind of trying to, w- as generic as it sounds, work smarter, not harder. Just try to find avenues online that are gonna, hopefully stand the test of time and to kind of get ahead of things in that way. Get some time freedom too.
There you
There's
go.
many, many reasons.
Yeah, there's just so many. If you go down the YouTube rabbit hole, right, there's so many online businesses you could start. So I'm always curious, like, what draws someone into Amazon FBA particularly? It was like the excited you to sell your own products, like have your own brand. Was that kind of an exciting part of it?
Yeah, honestly, it was probably you. I probably started watching your videos. I was like, yeah, this looks like a good avenue. I've always been like someone who wanted to like, create products. I'm like, hey, that'd be a cool idea for a product. And it's a great thing because you can be both. Yes, it's a business thing, but it's just as much as a creative outlet, and you can really, really go in deep with some of these ideas. And it's a pretty big canvas, and it's interesting to try to fill it.
Yeah, yeah. It seems like for your product, you did that, right? You kind of like that's what we do in the program, right? We really try to figure out like how do we creatively make this product better, make sure that it actually fits the market, everything like that. And that's one thing you did really well. Why me? Why'd you pick me out of, I'm sure you saw their YouTubers, everything like that.
Um, you seem
Because I'm
very genuine.
so good looking. Is that why?
Exactly. That I think that was the reason. Half of it was looks, but half of it was the videos. Yeah, just very genuine. Um, and it was really that kind of handheld approach that I needed genuinely. If I didn't have that, this would have been, and I needed it throughout the entire launch. It wasn't just at the beginning. I mean, I don't know if you remember, but I fell in every pit hole you could fall into.
Yeah.
They didn't let me do the Vine program. They took me down from doing PPC in every step of the way. You guys helped out. Obviously, I didn't know that before doing the course, but certainly glad that I did it.
Nice, man. Nice. Now tell me about you launched this product, I believe, end of last year. I know, yeah, we had some rocky points in the business because of the type of product you pick, and just sometimes it's bad luck with Amazon, right? Just sometimes it can be a little bumpy there. Tell me kind of about the success so far. I know your first month you did pretty well. I know it kind of took a rocket up there. Tell me a little bit about your first kind of month selling.
Definitely. So there was that, rocky start at the beginning, and it was just a lot of trial and error, trying different main images, which I found to be huge, very important. Getting reviews and just kind of playing with the keywords, seeing where you naturally fit, and then, if you really come out with a good product, it just takes off.
Yeah. Cool. I think one of your first months, maybe it was your second month, you hit about 14K or
Something
so, if I
like that.
said.
Yes, that was right. That was that
Yeah.
was a good day. It was during the first. I'm from Chicago, first Bears game. And I saw the numbers coming in. I was like used to getting like 4 sales a day, and it was like 20, 22 sales a day. It was like totally. I was jubilant. It was great.
That's awesome, man. Yeah,
Yeah, it was awesome.
I remember my first we were on a road trip from San Diego to San Francisco, just like we lived in Phoenix at the time, so we're just like we got to go see California coast, right? And every day we checked the app, like our first product that actually did well, went from like 4 sales, then 8 sales, and then 12 sales, 16 days or 16 sales. And yeah, just the same thing, just euphoria, right? Just like I can't believe this actually is working. It feels magic, like
It was
magic
cra-
money.
yeah, it was crazy. I don't know how many times I checked my phone that day, but it was absurd. It
Yeah,
was like every 2 minutes I was checking to see if more sales came in.
that's awesome, man. That's awesome. Eventually, I had to get rid of the Seller Central app because it just I'd be in there all day, just refreshing. I was like, this is a massive waste of time and probably not good for my brain.
No,
So
definitely not. Probably better than TikTok though.
probably. Well, that's awesome, man. That's awesome. Moving forward, like, are there certain goals you have with this business, like hitting like 30K a month, or financial goals, or I guess freedom goals, or anything like that you're trying to accomplish with this?
Absolutely. I'm really kind of using this to as yeah, yes, as a way to generate wealth going forward, but also as a way to fund other investments, other means of passive income. And Amazon's a huge tool for that. You could start off very small. You can get, pretty if following obviously the right steps and following the right guidance. You can really
Yeah,
maximize that dollar, and that can go into. I'm doing other Amazon stores right now,
nice.
so I'm preparing to do those with a really um, interesting strategy, and then other investments too. I think it's like I compare it to digital real estate. It's like instead of having a tenant and you get 3,000, $4,000 a month from them, it's the exact same principle. So
Yeah,
probably rocking and rolling with Amazon for a while, but hope to
you know,
diversify.
you don't have to worry about squatters either. So
Exactly right.
maybe on your listings every now and then, but once you get the trademark polished, you'll be good to go on that one. Yeah, that's interesting. I actually thought about this a lot more. Is I view Amazon the same way as like an investment, right? So like reselling, right? If you just went to TJ Maxx and got $2 products and sold them for four or whatever, made a $2 profit, like that scales linearly. Like the more you have to put more work in to make more money. Where this, yes, you do have to put work in, which like it takes a lot of work, but as you kind of get comfortable, you get a little better. And as you get things rolling, like this thing can keep growing without your work linearly, right? It's exponential kind of growth over time that it can turn into. So that's the beautiful thing about private label is you have that opportunity where other models you just 40 hours a week to make, I don't know, 4 grand, whatever, where this you can eventually get to the point where 20 hours a week can get you there and it can keep growing on top of that. So do you kind of view it the same way a little bit?
Absolutely, yeah. This is horrible business advice to say, but for a second you can take your eye off the ball and you can go into other stores. And yes, you can monitor what you've done and still update it and make sure it's performing. But it does give you time freedom to even push forward and get more and more products, more stores.
Yeah, absolutely, man. So what did you work on, are you working a 9 to 5 while you're doing this? Or I know you're pretty young and just got out of school not too long ago. Were you working a job while you're building this business at all?
So I did take I worked for the start of it. I did initially. I worked at Home Depot, and then I took some time off, um, just a couple months to really get my feet and get my feet in. And then after that, I did start a job that I'll actually be leaving in I think 6 weeks. June
Okay.
12th will be my last day, so then it will be fully Amazon at that point.
Nice, man.
Yeah,
That's really
that's
cool.
exciting. Yeah,
So it is
I'll be in
possible.
Milwaukee with some friends.
Nice. Okay. You're in Chicago now, you said?
Correct. Yes, both
Okay.
suburbs. It's just easy to say.
Yes,
Oh
same
yeah.
thing. I'm from Cedar Rapids, Iowa, so 4 hours away. And everybody we met, Chicago, whether it's suburbs or not, right? So one big bucket. Cool. So you could do this. You could start this business with a 9 to 5, with a day job, right? You still had enough time to. I'm sure it was difficult. It's not easy, of course, but like you started this business while working, right?
Definitely, yes.
Yeah.
It is difficult and it's challenging, but if you really want to do it and you'll get like addicted to doing it, I'd almost feel like guilty going out with friends and stuff. I'm like, oh man, I'd rather be back working on it. Yeah, so I started with the job though, yes.
That's funny. That's funny, man. It's crazy how much like when I went out, party, drink, whatever the friends, or just go out and about, like I really didn't enjoy that stuff as much as I enjoyed other stuff. And that's when I kind of learned like in the business, like I'd rather work in my business or do X, Y, Z. Like if I have to go out there and get drunk to have fun, like it's probably not a good place to be, right? Those probably aren't
No,
like
something's
really
up.
good friends, right? If
It
I
gets
have to drink
repetitive
to
for
stand
sure.
with them. So that's awesome, man. So back to the program. Last question for you, Andrew.
Sure.
So with the program, it seems like you joined that. Like, why? Like, what was the thought process to joining a program? Like, why didn't you go do it on your own?
I actually did. I actually did try to do it on my own.
Okay.
Initially, it was these jawline exercisers, which was, you know, bad first product. But yeah, you just kind of learn. It's on par with learning like it's a totally new skill. The same way a plumbing and electrician would have to learn something. You need a mentor, and you need. I really think, especially nowadays, without help, without someone to kind of show you the ropes, learn from other people's mistakes. I personally would have. I just would have. I would have stopped like very soon after the first product. It would have
Yeah.
been very expensive to keep making the same mistakes, and the course just helped me jump over those mistakes so easily.
Yeah. That's awesome, man. That's awesome. Would you say like the hands-on approach the program takes probably the most value with that, or there's anything inside the program that like was like really stood up for me, like this really helps me?
The calls every single week initially, like when I first started signing up, I was on those calls all the time. Those were insanely helpful, the real time response and the real time help. The community is genuinely helpful. People post very interesting information, and it really keeps me. Amazon changes all the time.
Yeah.
So you have 300 people who have their eye on the ball and they're posting about that. I mean, that's huge. That's a huge help. Um, and yeah, outside of that, just genuinely people like, people like Raul in the course and people like Adam who I talk to fairly regularly. They help a great amount.
That's awesome, man. Very cool. Well, I'm glad you joined. I'm glad it's going well so far. And yeah, I'm excited for the future for you. You're so young and you're off to the ball a lot quicker than me. So that's gonna be fun to see.
Yeah, I'm excited too. I honestly think it's very cool. It's a great opportunity to have.
Absolutely, man. Well, thank you.
Sure, definitely.